Good afternoon, everyone. It's Doug from AR.Watch, and we are here live for our last update from Expedition Alaska 2024. And what a race it was. The most amazing thing I think about this race is that not a single team dropped. And I don't think a single racer dropped from the race, which is saying something given the epicness of this race. All the things that teams had to endure, the weather, the cold, the wet, up and over mountains on bikes for 150 miles at a time. And nobody had to drop from the race, which is freaking amazing. And a testament to the athletes who were out there. So I hope for those athletes that are tuning in to watch this update, you are super proud of yourself. We are all proud of you. I know your friends and family have been, because I have been getting messages the entire time from friends and family telling just how proud they are of you. And it's really been great to see. We're going to hope to get some live feeds from the people who are at the race. And it should be teams are coming back to gather their stuff up. I'm sure as soon as the race was over, they went and crashed hard. But hopefully, Bones and Warrior have gotten a full day's sleep. So hopefully they are now fed and are at the race area, the race finish area, and then we're going to be able to catch up with them. So we're glad to be live. I want to start off by going over some of the race breakdown. So I'm going to show here on the tracker. So it's great to see all the racers at the finish area. And I want to just kind of go through here, and I want to do a little bit of dot watching with the speed monitor on. So if you remember 5 days ago, the teams were bussed down to Seward, and they got to start the race off with this huge climb up and over Mount Marathon. So as teams started to get going, at first it was a pretty big train of racers as they're going up and over, but you could definitely tell the separation right from the beginning because the lead teams were flying, and it was a big difference in when they got off the mountain and when the rest got off the mountain. And you started to see a separation from these top teams who, some of these teams are not even off of the mountain yet, and the lead teams are almost finished with the bike. And so when you start thinking about the speed that these top teams were going at, think about that. Where the last two teams are, they're one checkpoint away from being off of the bike by the time the last two teams got off of the mountain. So some incredible speed shown by Team Bones and Warrior, and this ability, and Ranger Up at this point was crushing and right there neck and neck with the top three teams. So as they continue up into this bike section, it was pretty straightforward. There were no major choices really, other than just moving forward and getting to this pack raft section. But the pack raft section is where things started to change, and where racers ended up having to make some decisions.
I was just a man
on how they were going to, Jeff live. Let's pause.
What's happening?
How's it going?
What's going on?
What do you have going on behind you?
It's the finish of the race.
That looks like the start of another race. What is going on there?
Let me show you what's going on.
Wow, it looks like we have the start of a race up the mountain. They look like they're fresh. They look like they need to have started about 5 days ago.
So let me get away from the sound. So today is one of the Cirque Series races. They're sky runs. Okay. So the O relay that our teams did, these guys are doing it this morning, and it's a sky run. So it's only a 6-mile loop up and over the mountains that the O course was. And then they come back down. So they're all running up right here now. And they got to go across this ridge, over the backside and back down. And so the race is starting this morning. And Hunter is out there racing with him.
Hunter can't get enough, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
and there they go. There's the women. There's 700 runners here.
wow.
There they go.
So speaking of racers, how is everybody doing?
So everybody's in great spirits. Everybody got some sleep last night. The only team that finished, well, we had a team finish at 3 a.m. And then, of course, the butterflies finished this morning at, I guess, around 7 o'clock, or 6 or 7 o'clock. So everybody's got some rest. Everybody's out front cleaning right now. Some of them are watching the race start. So, wow, it's loud out here.
Well, it'll be awesome to be able to catch up with some of them and, maybe give some smiling faces back home to the people who have been, tracking them for the last 5 days. I might have lost you there for a second. Oh, yep, we're back.
All right. Hey, puppies.
Hi, precious. Hi, precious.
Oh, look, we got puppies.
Got puppies.
Always have puppies. For some reason, puppies just attract to our TAs. It must be all the bacon that we cook.
Yeah, right. So you were saying the team's got a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're back around that area so we can catch up with them and kind of show their friends and family their smiling faces that they haven't seen in 5 days.
Okay. All right. Well, hold on a minute. Here's Mary.
Oh,
What's up? Who am I talking to?
Hey, it's Doug, Mary.
Oh, Doug.
You're live on
Hello.
Facebook. So, there we go. How are you feeling?
Hey, Doug. How are you? Oh, great.
What a freaking
I
race
feel
you
great. I
guys
could take some more sleep.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It was a good one.
I'm surprised that you guys didn't like rest up and then go run.
We were a little disappointed we didn't get up on. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I'm
turn that
surprised
off.
you didn't get up and race that race that's going on right now.
Yeah, just trying to get me to get up on the mountain, but my excuse is my shoes are wet and I'm tired of having wet feet, so not gonna happen.
Any major like creaks that are still creaking after the race?
Just my hip bones. The rest of me feels pretty good. Roy's feet, he's got a little blister, but everyone's moving pretty well.
What a race you guys had. I mean, you led from start to finish. You opened up an hour lead after the first bike leg, and then never looked back.
Oh, we were looking back. But we just, our goal was to just never see those guys in the TA, like get in TA and get out and never see them coming in. And it wasn't until we saw them on an out and back on a little trek over to Whittier. I think it was the first time we saw them. Gave them some high fives and then we saw them a couple other times, which was fun. But yeah, the goal is to never see them. And I think we may have lost some time on them in the TAs, but hopefully we gained a few minutes back on the trekking. So I don't know. I think we had a good race.
When you guys started on the first Packraft section, you guys had just pushed off when they were coming into the TA, so they could see you, but you didn't know that they were there, right? So
right.
you were definitely their rabbit the whole race. And how motivating was that coming down from Whittier and seeing them and knowing they still had to go up there, and that you had that a pretty significant lead at that point?
Well, I mean, we all know better. In an expedition race, an hour isn't enough. Like, especially with we still had like 30 hours of racing left at that point. So we knew it wasn't over yet. Things could still go wrong. Jason was sick, he was kind of a roller coaster of feeling good, feeling bad. So you just never take the gas off. Unless I come into a TA and we're there for 6 hours for like an O loop and come out, that's the only time I'll maybe feel confident. But I mean, Roy and I have done a race, we had a 24-hour lead and we blew it. So things can go wrong out there. You still have mechanicals, you still have injuries. So we never underestimated that they couldn't still catch us.
Well, and speaking of the O relays, I think you guys were sending your second team up when they were sending their first team.
Yeah, that Roy and I were the second team, and because we had come in, we sent 2 other people first. So Roy and I had an hour rest and our feet were good. And so when we popped up and saw Tim and Anna take off like 10 minutes ahead of us, we're like, oh, we're going to go get them.
Well, and
so that gave us some motivation.
I think you passed.
That was the first time we had somebody to, it's the first time we had somebody to chase. So we're like, we're going to catch them. And yeah, it was good.
And I mean, how were you guys going to attack the glacier period? Because like, I know, the decision had to be made based on the weather. What were your thoughts going into that section though?
We just knew we had to take care of each other and make sure we left the TA with the right amount of stuff. I need to be facing this way. You get a little better backdrop with the mountains there.
You can actually see them today.
Yeah, exactly. Live Facebook Live. There's Megan.
You're live on Facebook.
But no, we went to the glacier and we left the TA. We're like, let's make sure we have a whole extra change of clothes because it was spit and rain. We had all of our gear. We probably should have, maybe thought through if we had an emergency, what else should we be bringing besides the required mandatory gear? And then we were just kind of hoping, we planned it because we knew the storm had come in. So we did the lower checkpoints first, hoping that by the time we got up to the glacier, the storm had passed. And it was just, I don't know, it basically kind of rolled in and hung in there. And it just got windier and windier as we got up there, to the point where we're like running to the little A-frame hut up there for shelter, and it's locked because it was full of other climbers.
Oh, no.
So we found shelter. Yeah. So we got behind that A-frame and we're just trying to figure out our options. And because we wanted to, get warmed up again. And then Roy spotted the outhouse. So the 4 of us went into the outhouse, and just getting out of the wind was so important. So I don't know, we couldn't even sleep in there, but we got the speaker out and just got kind of pumped up and like, we can do this, let's see what happens with the weather. And then it just wasn't the right place to be up there in the right time, unfortunately. So we decided that it probably wasn't good. We radioed down and told Jeff that it wasn't the greatest. And Hunter, there was a couple other race crew up there, and they all agreed it just was not safe for everyone, especially this late in the race. And so it was a good call. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do probably what would have been the coolest part of the course, but that's how racing works. So safety comes over. Safety is always way more important than getting the right photo or the right view, right?
Yeah.
So it'll have to be another time, but I think it was the right call. Then by then it was sunrise, which is at 4:30 in the morning, and so we at least got a little view of. Well, we couldn't see the glacier, but we got a view of the canyon that we had come up, which was just beautiful waterfalls. And even then we saw Rib. They had just started to climb up when we were coming out. So we were still looking over our shoulders on the gravel 15K run back to the finish.
Oh, why are you coming down already?
Yeah, they were confused. They're like, are you guys okay? We're like, we're totally fine. Last checkpoint is up there. We gave them the news. So, and then the rest of the teams behind us, they Hunter and a couple of the other race staff went out and found the teams to get them the message like, hey, 2 of the checkpoints are canceled, but we still allow you to go to the high one. And yeah, so it was good.
Well, nothing
bonds a little bummer, but
nothing bonds your team like hanging out in an outhouse together and then on top of a mountain.
Yeah,
right?
we got some. Yeah, I mean, it was funny. We're just like, we had brought a speaker with us to give us a little energy boost if we were getting a little sluggish because we didn't sleep the night before. And Roy just turned it on, and yeah, it was pretty funny.
How
And I
much
think
sleep
we had
did you guys
at one
get?
point we had 6 people in the outhouse because we brought in Hunter and Nick,
Nick.
our support guys that came out for safety. They joined us too. So we had 6 people just singing and hanging out in the outhouse. Hoping nobody knocked on the door and actually needed to use it because
Right?
I would not wanted to go outside. But then we, swap some clothes, put on some dry socks, and so that we could hang, get the run back to the finish in one swoop.
So for the team, for people at home that were watching your tracker, how much sleep did you actually get during the race?
So night 2, we came in. It's hard because it literally didn't get dark till 11:30 o'clock at night. And if you were in the canopy, it was really dark. But if you were out like pack rafting, you never needed a headlamp. So darkness came later, so you could last a little bit longer. But what we decided is it was still daylight, but we got off the pack raft and decided before we started getting on that long mountain bike ride or the first big bike ride, we decided to sleep there. Plus, with all my travel, Monday, I was pretty much asleep most of the first day. I had no sleep in me for the past 2 nights. So I was very happy to get some sleep before night 2. And it worked out well. Everybody recovered. Only 2 of us actually got sleep because it was right next to a highway. The TA was, but so we got 2.5 hours. We rested there, topped up, and then we were able to hammer this really technical mountain bike ride that had overgrown with brush, where the branches were really over our heads, and we were kind of carving a path. So I'm glad we had the rest in us to handle that, because it was just mentally draining that you're pushing your bike or riding, and then you would just ride and crash because you couldn't see the trail underneath you. Hopefully that improved for the teams behind us, the more riders that came through. And then the next night we got another 2-hour rest, and then that was it. We got like an hour here for the orienteering course, if you could actually rest. So overall, I'd say I personally got 4.5, 5 hours, which is a lot, I think. And my team probably got a little bit less. They didn't quite sleep so well in the first one, but we're good. We, if somebody was sleepy, we were talking and singing, and you have to make a lot of noise out there with the bears anyway. So we were just kind of helping each other out. Sometimes someone was sleepwalking and would just hold on to the shoulder of a pack of someone else and just kind of slag along. But
awesome.
It was all good. I think we did all right on our sleep.
Yeah, you guys had a great race. It was fun to watch you. And I'm sure you've got a whole bunch of stories to tell at some point. So,
well, right now we're dealing with this mess of gear, of just packing. It's all wet.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, bikes. Everyone's bikes are over here and paddle bags. This is the worst part now, is opening things that have been in wet Ziploc bags since Monday.
And then you got to get it ready to fly back.
Yeah, because right now everything weighs twice as much. And if you came here with exactly 50 pounds of gear, right now your gear weighs about 60, 70 pounds. So we're gonna find a laundry mat and just wash my clothes and get them dry and hope everything's dry. Yeah. Do the temporary cleaning fix.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Mary. Like it's awesome.
No problem. There's my eyes are all still swollen.
Listen, you were undefeated in Alaska, so I think that means in 2016 you've got to go back to do it again. So
yeah, maybe that's a long ways off right now.
But like, you're gonna say no to a race.
I know, I struggle with that. I give in to peer pressure pretty much every time.
Well, thanks for catching up. Hopefully we can maybe we can find Jeff and find some other teams to talk to. That'd be great.
Yeah, Jeff's right here, and we'll see what he can find.
All right.
What do you want me to find?
I don't know. Find anybody.
Yeah. Find anybody.
Any other team?
Well, okay. Let me see what I can find. Bones is the only one still. Bones had the most rest, so they're the first ones here to clean up.
Yeah. Everybody else is like, wait, I don't have to get up and clean or walk or bike or anything.
Everybody. So luckily, even though we had the worst weather yesterday, now we have sunshine today, and it's only for one day. The rest of the week, 5 days, is rain forecast.
Wow.
So they're all out drying. Here's Kelly. Let's talk to Kelly. Yeah, Kelly, you want to be on? You okay? You want me to get the makeup artist over here, just clean you up? Here, say hello.
Hey, this is post race.
Yeah.
Hey.
Post race. A little puffy, a little swollen. Yeah.
That's awesome. How are you guys feeling?
Pretty good actually. Yeah.
First
Pretty
place
good.
all-female team.
Oh, yeah. Hey, it was epic. It was awesome. You know, all the highs and lows, and man, but it's incredible out here and
Yeah.
loving it.
Tell me, I mean, like, what were your favorite parts of the race? Because, you know, as
Here, I'll let you hold
we're all
both.
watching you guys, you know, it's hard to tell where you're having a good time and where you're not.
Well, and everybody's on a different schedule, right? Like this is going to sound weird, but I loved Marathon Mountain. Like that was such an awesome challenge. And I've never really run up or down like all that crap that was up there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of falling, stumbling aside, but I just thought that was really cool. Just the views I thought was amazing. My other favorite part, I would have to say, I really liked the trek. I don't remember where it's through. Where's that trek? It had like one bad area. We had like 6 foot tall foliage that you Crescent
that was
Lake.
Crescent Lake. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
where Crescent
we
Lake
saw the
was like
moon.
100 miles long all the way around the outside ring of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, like we just saw some really cool things there. But I'm so excited. What we did not see was any bears up in our face. So
Okay. Did you see
goal
some from a
number one
distance,
accomplished.
though? Did
No
you
bears
see
in our
some
face.
from a distance?
We
No.
didn't.
Nope. Which
now-
is what I preferred because bears and people don't mix.
Yeah, and now here's the truth is we actually probably went by 1 million of them, right? We did see an incredible bald eagle taking off, and
Yeah, on the paddle, we paddled within like 20 feet of the bald eagle sitting in the tree, and then it just took off.
yeah. But it was, you know, and here's the thing, even when things were rough, you'd get to something. I mean, even like on one of my roughest times, I was beat. And I stopped my bike and I looked over and I was like, oh my gosh, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
It's beautiful,
the
right?
views, the trails, the forests. It was just the whole time you were out there, you're like, oh, this is so great. This is so beautiful. And I was just like, for me, I was in heaven.
Yeah.
It was just
I
so
know.
much fun.
I know that long bike had to kind of wear on you guys for a while.
I'll tell you, the mountain bike section on that long bike on the Resurrection Trail, there was not one single inch of that trail that I did not love. It was just the whole thing was just fantastic.
I had a few
Alex,
places.
like,
I
wait
didn't
a
like.
second.
I had a few. I had a few places like those 6-inch, or the 6-inch trenches with the 4-foot foliage. I'm going to say I didn't love any of that. Not 1 inch of that did I love.
Yeah.
I fell on every inch of it, I think. I tipped in every inch of it, but yeah,
It was
I'm
like
glad
riding
she
through
did. I'm glad she did.
Through a 10-mile feed trough, but in the
Yes,
dark.
in the dark with
Fountain.
drop-offs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
listen,
yeah,
we
yeah.
got a
It was fun
lot
anyway.
of really strong women in this race, and you guys did awesome this entire race, and it was awesome to watch you guys.
Thank you.
We were cheering for you guys the whole time, and
Thanks.
I can imagine that being on that bike for as long, like that took you a long time to get through that bike section. The people at home were kind of worried, and I was like, I know a lot of these things. I've raced around them, and I know their stuff is nails, and you guys really proved that. So very proud of you guys. You guys did awesome
Thanks.
out there.
Thank you.
Hey, I love it, man. Bunch of us old women just rocking it out there,
Yep.
Hey, that's what it's
Go
all about.
AARP.
Team Medicare.
I'm not Medicare yet. I am AARP though.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for letting us catch up with you.
Thank you.
We hope you guys get some rest and are able to get all your gear together. I know that's
That's the worst part of the race is the aftermath, just trying to get everything cleaned up, packed away so that when you open your suitcase, when you get home, you don't pass out.
Yeah.
Well, get some rest, guys. Thanks for joining
Thank
us.
you.
If you can hand me back the
All
Jim,
right.
see if we can find
Here
it.
I am. Yep, here he is. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
All right.
Surprisingly, it was such a brutal race in the wilderness. Everybody has great things to say. Everybody had all kinds of favorite parts. And when I told you that, I fell in love with Alaska because of the wilderness, because of the views, because of what you see out here. It is absolutely 100% true, man. There's not one section out here that you had a bad time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we all have this kind of dark side as adventure racers where we love suffering, and so
Yeah.
we can find the beauty even in the suffering. And
Yep.
so then when you get to match that with the picturesque things that you guys have had out there, I can just imagine. Any other teams around?
Yeah, I'm looking inside to see if they're getting gear inside too. Trying to see who else is here. Oh, here, Jason. Doug wants to say hello to you.
Hey, Doug.
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
That's good, man. Mood's uplifting. I
Yeah.
hurt my finger.
He hurt his finger. One little boo boo.
Boo boo.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I want you to tell them about your creative pack rafting.
Created the sailing or the
The sailing. No, the sailing. Yeah.
I got video of it. I can send you guys. But so basically, we created a catamaran by strapping the two pack rafts together side to side. Kind of the only way we were able to do this because we had a really good tarp that was sort of our emergency shelter, but the guy line loops were like double stitched like you'd see on climbing equipment. So I'm like, that's going to hold. Sort of tied in between two full size paddles so it wasn't going to slide up or down. And like the blade was nice because it kind of fit nice in the hip crease, so we kind of got nice good leverage
there in the pack raft.
Yeah, and so like on the front right side, because the wind was coming from the right, we flipped her seat backwards, so she was kind of far back like this. And then the guy on the left was like this, so we got the nice angle on the sail. Cut one of the kayak paddles in half, so we each had one on this side, so we could like get out and sort of canoe paddle. And then we had like a third full length kayak paddle, like kind of in the middle of the bigger rudder, so we could kind of steer it. But that kind of went to shit a little bit because it was just so windy. It was probably like 35. I don't know what.
Yeah, it was a lot of wind. Yeah.
Beforehand, you were like, "Are you guys gonna paddle across? Because the conditions are getting pretty bad." Like you're kind of giving us the. I think
you might want to change your plans, but you guys sailed it instead.
I'm like, Jeff, you're telling me it's windier, all right? Well, okay. But so we get going, and then like Rosie started having a hard time like holding on to the thing, and she's right in front of me. So I kind of like dive on top of her and grab the sail. So I'm like just facing down, and I don't think it's working. I feel like it's all gone to shit. I'm like, let's just abandon this, guys. I'm feeling like the water come up over the side. I'm like, this is not good. And then she's like, no, look behind you at the coast. And I look back and like, suddenly we're like well past the middle of the lake. And
got over quick, yeah.
And that's when like things were like, holy shit, it's working.
And I did not pick him up the second time.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
it really did work.
We got almost all the way there, but the last quarter of the lake, it got real swirly, so we ended up having to like paddle the rest of the way. That actually probably took just as long as getting
a free ride though.
Yeah. But
what about the rest of the race for you? You guys definitely had some issues in the beginning with speed, but then you guys triumphed and got here to the finish line, and you still had what? You had 10 or more hours to spare? You guys had plenty of time.
Some good sleep.
Yeah, I got some good sleep.
Yeah, well, I think that's one thing. This is my first multi-day expedition race, and I've done a lot of like shorter races. I figured I was at a point where I would make the next step.
He picks Alaska for his first expedition race.
Well, no, I picked C to C, but then I tore my leg.
Oh, that's right. He picked C to C, but didn't make it. And
wow,
now he's like, Alaska's the next one.
Yeah, I had to have surgery in February, so I had to do couch to 5 day because I was out of commission from getting shoulder repair from whitewater kayak injury. But
I need a trademark.
Yeah, so the thing I underestimated was that like the team dynamic. We all met just trying to find teammates for this race, and we kind of had some meetings and went over who's getting what gear and kind of what the goals were. And the goals collectively were all the same. Hey, we want to get all the CPs and finish the race. I'm like, all right, great, let's do that. What I didn't realize was with this type of race, like what you're willing to do, like how depraved you're willing to be to push through and get it done. It just varies from person to person. I think the personality, especially at the beginning when we hit some really early, just bad weather, things weren't going well. There's a lot of just animosity, more like under the surface. Nobody was yelling at each other, but very much like you could tell like two of us were like, we want to go faster, and two of them were like, why are they so aggressive? Like, but we worked it out, and I think I think that sailing moment was actually like the point where it kind of turned and we became a team because none of them had sailed before. Like my father-in-law, but my wife and I have been together for like 16 years, and he's the one that taught me how to sail. And I was like, listen, guys, I'm a decent sailor. People have been sailing for hundreds of years. This is how I think we could do it. And then I sort of asked them, well, what do you guys have ideas? You know, how do you are you willing to do it? Are you willing to try? And everybody was like willing, and so that was cool. And none of them had sailed before, so I got to take them sailing for the first time.
That
So
that worked out.
Yeah.
Well, listen, coast to coasters, never raced together before, never done an expedition race, came to Alaska and kicked ass. And that just proves that it doesn't matter who you're racing with, as long as you guys have the same goals, you can complete anything you want.
Yep.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Great job, Jason. Yeah, listen, I mean, we talked a little bit yesterday about the team dynamics and how that can affect, even the best teams.
Yeah.
And how it's important to go out and race with people before you go tackle a race like this. So how when adversity hits, people are going to respond. When people are exhausted or tired, how they're going to act and what you need to do. Because it's really hard to pick somebody up when you don't know the best way to do that.
Let's talk to One-Eyed Willie here. So he had an encounter with some Devil's Club and right into his eye. So let's talk to is Gary. Gary, let's talk to Gary for a little bit. Here, hold on.
Gary, how's it going, buddy?
It's Doug.
I don't know what I
Oh,
did there.
that's okay. That's Doug there. He's live on our page. So
Hey, Doug.
So-
Hey, I can see you on some of the videos already, man. It's an honor to be on here with you.
Hey, man, glad to have you. You guys did awesome out there. So, tell me what happened.
Yeah, probably. I don't even know what days they all run together, but one of the days I wear one contact lens, and it was just burning like crazy, and I thought it was just because I was so tired, because you're not sleeping. And then when I did finally lay down and shut my eyes, it was like burning like crazy, and it just kept like a faucet just turned on. Like my eye just kept running and running and running, and I couldn't sleep. And so when my partner came and got me and says, "Hey, it's time to get up and go," I opened my eyes. I couldn't see out of either one of my eyes. And his name is Conan. I said, "Conan, I can't see." And he's like, "What do you mean you can't see?" I'm like, I don't know how else to say it. I can't see. And he says, "What do you mean? What are we going to do?" I'm like, "I don't know. I can't see." And if I open my eye, the light just like felt like it shot like a laser, just a nail through my eye to the back of my head. I'm like, "Dude, I don't know what to do." Well, thank goodness we have our other member is a doctor. And so he pulled me over. I mean, you want to talk about, blind beggar. I feel like, I had to hold somebody's shoulder. They're walking me across the field. It's, how it was that one night. It's raining, it's wet, and I can't see. I'm not in any kind of pain outside of just my head.
Right.
But I get over there, he lays me down, opens my eye, drops a couple drops in it and says, "Yeah, you scratched the cornea or the, whatever, retina, I don't know. But I can't see." And so right now, even now, it feels like there's just this film over it that if I open it, I can see that there's something in front of me, but I can't see what it is.
So how did that affect you? I mean, that messes with your equilibrium and
Oh, dude.
how was that biking after that?
Well, I wasn't able to bike after that. It was all the trekking and everything after that. But I laid down for a couple hours, and even now it's not painful. It's just kind of a irritation right now. It just feels like there's a hair on it, and I can't really even open it. So yeah, everything's just.
Did you try I'm just trying to figure out what you would have done in that situation. Like, did you try covering it to help, balance it out a little bit? Oh, I think you muted. Sorry.
Yeah, he was just getting a phone call. But
Oh.
anyway, so I was cutting something off my bike just now, and because I don't have any kind of balance or anything, I tripped and I sliced my hand. So
Oh, no.
that I'm not used to have it right now. I don't have that 20-pound backpack on too, so I'm always walking a little bit out of balance. So
the
it's
hits
an
just
incredible
keep on
experience.
coming for you. So
Yeah, this
Well,
was
listen,
great.
You go live your adventure. Had a great race. It was fun to watch you guys. I hope that you enjoy the coverage when you get a chance to watch it.
Sure.
I know that your friends and family at home, were watching and tracking, and we had a great time watching you guys. You guys should be very proud. That was a
Thank you.
really difficult race, and
Yeah.
you guys did a great job. So,
Thanks for putting it on.
yeah, man. Hope the eye heals well, and we're gonna try to plan an AR 101 to catch up with everybody, kind of after the fact. But
Okay.
yeah, man, thanks for taking the time to talk to everybody.
You bet. My pleasure. I'll try to find your boss. Here we go.
There it is.
Right. Thanks, man.
Hunter called in while you were.
Oh yeah, I know. Hunter's gonna go live up from the top.
All right.
Because I think the leaders of that Cirque Series race is coming by, and the view up there should be spectacular because the clouds are low and the summit is above that.
Hunter,
Hello.
aren't you racing?
Basically,
Man, you are up at the top right now, right?
I am. So I'm about to get to the checkpoint on the O relay. I'll show you up here, but the views are amazing today. So
What a difference a day makes, huh?
that's the top right there where the checkpoint is.
Yeah.
And this is the view.
Wow.
Is it better if I go horizontal?
Let me change just to you, and then it will that way everybody can see what you're showing.
Yeah, go horizontal. So that is CP 36 on Crow Pass up there where we had to cancel the glacier section. Was about right there, and the glacier is up above all this stuff. But today is the most beautiful day so far. That is the Turnagain Arm down there. So the ocean, the bay, and everything, but the clouds are all covering it. So it's really awesome looking. And then if you can see, I don't know if I can zoom in, but there's a 6-mile sky running race going on right now. And they are going up this ridge all the way up to that top. And they're running all the way that way to drop back down. So if you look really closely, you can start seeing some people along the snow. You see all these little dots right where my finger is.
Wow, that's a spectacular view, and it sucks that racers didn't get that yesterday.
No, so yesterday the view was probably just as spectacular, just a little different. The clouds were more here. But once you got up to the checkpoint, you could see over the clouds and see all the mountain peaks and everything. So this is where the O relay checkpoint was. So every single person in the team could see this view.
Wow.
Oh, I can see them. I can see the mountain moving. So like the tops of the mountains are all like a saw moving. The blades are moving, and that's all the people. Yeah.
That's awesome. Are you actually running the race, Hunter, or?
No.
Okay.
No. It was like pretty expensive for a 6-mile race. I'm like, no, I'd rather just run up it.
Well, that's absolutely beautiful. We were just catching up with some of the teams, down here at the finish line and getting some of their stories. It's been an epic week, and the racers have a lot to be proud of. And honestly, so do you guys. You guys put on a fantastic race to get to the end and have everyone make it. That is fantastic. And the safety that you guys provided, and the decisions that you made were not easy.
The towels in there that's hanging in it, the same towel that we used to get.
Oh, sorry. I'm still race directing. Sorry.
So Doug, that's the glacier up there. You can see it poking through. See it?
Yeah.
So, oh, my screen went blank.
There you
go. This is the glacier. Our last checkpoint was up there, and behind the clouds, where they could overlook the whole town. But next year,
2026, everybody.
Yeah.
We will be back, and it's going to be even better. And we hope that everyone will be anxious to sign up after watching all of the epicness that we've had so far.
So what we came up with an idea, Doug, and you're going to be a part of it. I know you will. Is what we're going to do is next summer, we're going to set some dates, and we're going to call it Explore Alaska. And we're going to come back and we're going to go do some glacier. We're going to do some climbing, and we're going to do some trail hiking up here. as exploring Alaska prior to 2026's race.
I love it. I'm in.
My permit is valid for a whole year. So I'm going to use that glacier permit for next summer.
Heck yeah.
And we're gonna get up there.
So if you're wondering what it's like to get on a glacier, reach out to Jeff and we'll figure out what that looks like, and you can get out there and experience this without having to feel like you're racing.
No, yeah, it's a little 3-day little weekend, trip out here. If you're planning on doing 26 and you want to come get your feet wet in Alaska and walk across the glacier and get some experience that way. And maybe we'll throw a certification in there as well. So the guides that will take us will definitely certify, your rope experience, stuff like that. I think that is going to be something that might be valuable for people to do prior to coming in 2026 without any kind of experience at all.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
I can't get over the trail, Hunter.
Yeah, we're about to get to the checkpoint. Just wait. Right over this is absolutely insane. And it's just one checkpoint of the race.
Boy, don't fall.
That's when you see the camera going like this.
Yeah, the cameras goes all over the place.
Flip back.
None of that, Hunter.
None.
Wow. And what's the elevate, like from the bottom to where Hunter is? How much elevation gain is that?
3,000.
Yeah, 3,000 feet.
And this mountain's only 4,000 feet tall, but it looks taller than Colorado peaks because you go straight from the ocean, straight up the mountain.
All the way up, yeah.
All right, we should see the checkpoint right here coming up.
It was such a poorly placed punch.
Well, and it's funny, I was talking to Nick last night about the reaction of teams when they turned over the second map.
Yeah.
And how many teams were like, fuck you, Jeff.
Pretty much. There was some words.
But I think everybody just kind of laughed and were like, well, all right, let's go.
Yeah. It was, that's the thing about adventure racing is that it's problem solving. There's problems that arise all the time. And whoever is the best problem solver is the one who finishes the best or is more comfortable with making a decision and moving on. So.
Alrighty.
We were talking to Mary. We got a chance to talk to Mary there, and she was saying that when they took off, because she was in the second group that went up, and they went up around the same time that Warrior went up, and they could see Tim and Anna ahead of them, and they were like, oh, we're going to catch them. Oh, there's the checkpoint.
Yeah.
So for those of you at home that are wondering what it looks like when your teams are trekking up mountains, Hunter, say something so it picks you up.
Yeah, so they had to climb all the way up this mountain for this checkpoint. This was the O relay section, so every team member had to come up here and get it. Not too shabby of a view.
Oh, it's going back to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Here we
fantastic.
go. Try to keep it on me.
Oh yeah, if you talk, it'll stay on you.
Well, yeah, it's actually clearing up. The clouds down below by the tourniquet arm clearing up. You can start seeing the ocean down there, and it's just insane how beautiful this last checkpoint is. Like I said, the last.
It's breaking up a little bit.
Hey,
But...
Dad, mute your mic.
Yeah. What is it? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead and mute.
I said mute your mics. So the TA, can't quite see it. It's about right here. That's the resort for the hotel and where all the racers are staying the night before and the night after the race. and the trek takes you down in this valley. There's 2 checkpoints down there and 1 checkpoint up in this valley here. And they walk along the trail on the road to a checkpoint down in this creek. And then they hike all the way up that valley around that corner up to about there. And that's the checkpoint at the cabin. And that's where they would have jumped on the glacier and went up in this big glacier up here. But that was the last checkpoint up there, and they came right back down to finish.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, my phone's about to die, so
Hey, don't
I gotta
forget,
hop
don't
off
forget to
here.
grab the checkpoint, Hunter. Don't forget to grab it.
Look at you
Yeah,
race
that would be
directing,
that.
Bill. Hunter, thanks
appreciate
for,
that.
thanks for showing us what it was like up there. Appreciate it. Get down safely.
Of course, yeah, I'm actually going to keep climbing up to the top and see what the other race is all about and probably run down that ridge. And maybe next year, that's going to be part of the course.
Oh, never know.
Little hint. All righty. See you guys.
Thanks, Hunter. Well, Jeff, is any other racers that we want to catch up with before we wrap this up?
No, they're all either still sleeping or just kind of pretty much brought their stuff out and let it dry out until they come back later. I mean, they have plenty of time. Tonight, the award ceremony is at 7 o'clock. We got a full banquet set up with halibut, salmon, some pasta dishes, and some steak. So they're going to get really, really fed really, really well tonight. So they have plenty of time for that. So they're just pretty much rubbing in their gear, but there's nobody else here besides the one you've already talked to.
Well, I think we should schedule an AR 101. You got about a week drive back, but
Yeah.
maybe we schedule it for that next week, basically give everybody time to decompress and gather their stories, and we'll try to have a bunch of people on so that we can, hear from a little bit from everybody. And then also talk a little bit about 2026. Somebody asked in the comments what it would be like, what kind of certifications that you might need for participating in 2026. So people that are at home watching that are now eager for 2026, they can start planning.
Yeah.
Any last words as the race director?
I sum this up like I have 44 children that went out to a party, and I told them to be home at midnight, and I can't sleep until all of my 44 children are home, and all through my mind, I'm thinking about the worst things that could happen. I remember my mom when I was out late, she was like, I don't know. You could have done this. You could have done that. You could have gotten in a car accident. A friend of yours could have gotten drunk. All these things that I'm like, Mom, why are you worrying so much? That's sort of what I do here is that once this race starts, I worry for all 44 of my children for the entire time. And as soon as that last team crosses over, it feels like a complete burden comes off of my shoulders. And that felt so good this morning when the final team came across. And, now I can actually sleep. I can actually go to sleep. But I'm so thankful that through the many years that I've been talking about putting this race together and then rushing it for 2024, and just being able to pull it off, getting all of my permitting. I have such a great relationship with the Forest Service here now. They know all about what's going on. They're eager to see my design for 26. And it's just such a great experience. Everybody had such a great experience. That's what I take away from this is that I can't wait to do it again.
Well, listen, I can tell you have a lot to be proud of with this race. I can't wait to hear all the stories from everybody. I want to thank everybody that is tuned in for all of these because, I know it's really, really hard when you have friends and family who are out competing in a race like this and you're worried, you're stalking the tracker left and right. I was really excited to be able to bring this to you. I hope that you are happy with the product that we were able to put forward for you. It has been a blast to do. Thank you all for sending the messages and comments and the support, not only for them, but also to me. I appreciate that more than you know. So I hope that people will continue to want to be out and get out and live their own adventure, right? I mean, that's literally what one of the team names was, is go live your adventure. And
Well,
I think every one of you who is out here watching it needs to get out, find something to do, and get out and find your next race. I know this has definitely inspired me. Thank you guys for continuing to watch. I hope that you will continue to follow AR.watch as we do more races. I hope that you will follow Warrior, go on their website, find another race to sign up for. They've got some other ones coming up. They've got Cauldron coming up in October. Anything in between that?
oh yeah, well, I got the Bear next
Yeah, the
month, and
Bear.
then I've got to go out to Colorado after that.
Oh, yeah.
Colorado registration is doing really, really well. So again, that's the second year that race has been going. So I'm excited to get back out and get to Colorado. It's just one of my favorite places. My second favorite place, I gotta say. Alaska is definitely number one, but Colorado number two, and then we've got, basically, we start the winter series in Florida. So we start the Cauldron, immediately after that, the Turkey Burn, and then we have the Resolution, and then we have the Sea to Sea. So 4 races in a row over the winter in Florida.
Well, and listen, even if you can't get out and race, come out and volunteer and be a part of this community, because you already have been by supporting and watching this. Get out and see it firsthand, because once you do, I think you will fall in love with it like the rest of us have.
Yep.
So thank you guys so much. We look forward to bringing you the next event. Thank you to Alyska and the Alyska Resort for housing and hosting this event. We can't wait to be back in 2026. And we will talk to everybody at the next one. So until then, get out there and live your adventure.
All right. Thanks, Doug.
See you
Thanks,
guys.
everybody.